I'm Bill Wilt of Assured Research. Thanks so much for joining this quick hit video where we're going to focus on one topic from one research note in our upcoming, so you're getting a sneak preview here, our upcoming February 2025 Assured briefing. If you're a subscriber, thank you. If you're not and you enjoy this work, there's plenty more at this YouTube website, and we'd certainly encourage you to reach out and think about a trial to our work. So let's turn attention to wildfires, which were, of course, on everyone's mind this past month, continue to be. And we included in our February briefing work from the FEMA's National Risk Index. It's specifically what we've done is marry their existing National Risk Index with a new module that they released only last year in 2024, I believe. That looks at future risk and how that could change. So the focus here is on the wildfire risk, both presently and then also how it might change, where, and with what kind of anticipated variability. So let's jump into the slides. Bear with me while I share the screen. Okay, go here. And good. Hopefully you're seeing it, the screen now. So let me go up one slide. So let's just take a look at the current expected annual loss. So expected annual loss from the peril of wildfire to buildings. Looking specifically at buildings, and you see on the left that California has by far the greatest expected annual loss from wildfire to buildings. California, it's kind of like California and then everybody else. Maybe interesting to note that Florida ranks as high as it does. If we turn attention to the right and we look at the counties with the highest expected annual loss, 6 of the top 10 counties are in California, with the top 3 there, San Diego is the highest, but the next 3 are all in the greater Los Angeles area. Again, probably not surprising. But what's maybe a little more surprising and also interesting is when you turn attention to the hazard multipliers that are in this future risk module from the National Risk Index. And these are the multipliers that they've estimated, of course, using lots of science and experts, to take the current expected annual loss to, in this case, to buildings from the peril of wildfire, to take them from today's risk or expected annual loss into the future under a climate scenario. They look at 4 specific climate scenarios, so 4 sets of hazard multipliers. We're looking specifically at those that take the risk into the mid-century under a high, what they refer to as a high global temperature scenario. So they look at 4 future states of climate risk into the mid-century and the later century. We're focusing on the mid-century and the higher of the 2 temperature scenarios. So then we look at the distribution, this is across counties within state, of these hazard multipliers. If you look on the left, we picked just 5 western states of interest, and it's notable that California's has relatively low hazard multiplier with not much variability. Now that doesn't mean that there's not a lot of risk in California. It doesn't mean that it may still have and will still have surely the highest expected loss even into the mid-century. I think what FEMA is conveying at this point is just that it's not expected to change a lot in the future. Perhaps it's already changed quite meaningfully. You see other levels of variability there on the left. But on the right-hand side, we look at states where actually the wildfire risk is expected to grow appreciably more than those states on the left. And interestingly, that's some states in the upper Midwest and the upper Mid-Atlantic, and you see hazard multipliers going into the 2.2 range with a fair amount of variability on the right-hand side. So that conveys risk risk rising, and it conveys a higher level of uncertainty about that risk. So our takeaway from these is a fewfold. One, recognizing that mid-century is a longer planning horizon than most insurers, than nearly any insurer, but still we think it makes sense to understand, since this is a publicly available model, makes sense to understand what FEMA is thinking and projecting, certainly in the context of a company wanting to grow its property portfolio. And as we said, I know mid-century is kind of a long planning horizon, but it's still suggestive of change, and certainly over the next 5 to 10 years is kind of within most companies' planning horizons. So we think this is an interesting tool. We'll continue to kind of mine it for insights, and we're hopeful that it's maintained and continued, that the government continues to invest in it. So thanks for listening, and hope you have a great rest of your day.